Let's do a promo for Joey Only. So say hi, Joey Only.
What's up, Joey Only?
What's up, Joey Only?
I'm Frank Adult. You're listening to Comedeorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. And Joey Only's a really nice guy. He was working for Vancouver Giants Western Hockey League team. Joey Only and I are best friends of mine. And Brandon Helk, he's a big fan of Brooks Bandits hockey team out in Alberta. In Brooks, Alberta. Joey Only's a really nice guy. Joey Only's coming to Sydney, Nova Scotia. Brandon Helk is coming to Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8, 2024 for Total Solar Clips. And Joey Only show is on the YouTube channel. It's on Comedian plus Meteorology, Caribou Weather. Do Joey Only every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic on the Caribou Weather. Do Joey Only YouTube channel. It's on CFVR 88.7 FM, Prince George, CKUW 95.9 FM in Winnipeg, and CFBX 92.5 FM in Kamloops. It's on Shot Spotlight TV. Joey Only's a really nice guy. I'm on this podcast every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. And Joey Only's a really nice man. He runs the podcast, Comedian plus Meteorology, Caribou Weather Dude. And Joey Only's a really nice guy. Best of luck to him. Frank Out yours and Joey Only show every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Say hi, Joey Only.
Hi, Joey.
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather, whether or not. There it is.
Good morning, Prince George, and good afternoon, Winnipeg, and hello, Kamloops, and all you viewers in the Vancouver Island area. Thank you, Shock Cable. You're listening and watching the Comedeorological Report, the Comedy Meteorology Report. Comedy plus meteorology equals Comedeorology. It's your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada, and I am your host, Joey Only, here in Wells, British Columbia, that little mountain town you so love that sits right next to old Barkerville. Yes, we've been talking about how much bad weather is to come for all of Canada. In the pre-show, we're just looking at some of the models and looking at how the jet stream is going to dip down south through almost the continental United States. And when it does, it's sure to trigger off lots of severe thunderstorm, maybe some tornado outbreaks and that kind of thing. I think we don't have our Brandon Howe to talk about that kind of stuff tonight, but we do have our Frankie McDonald. He is here from Sydney, Nova Scotia. We'll get to him in just a minute. He is the world famous weatherman, the most famous man in the weather world. And he's the world's greatest weatherman. That's what he is in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Frankie McDonald, that's right. And Imogen Cookie Bailey's back from her trip to Florida. So that's wonderful. She saved a bird even there and got to meet alligators and saw some suspects that could be possibly Florida men. And Hilding Donaldson, he's out there in Grassy Plains. He's been just trying to get things ready for the winter as fast as he can because he might be getting some snow soon and gotta hope to feed those cows grass as long as he can. You're listening to us on C4 88.7 FM, CKUW 95.9 Winnipeg, and CFBX 92.5 Kamloops, and Shaw Spotlight, Shaw Cable TV. Okay, let's get on with it. Time to talk to Frankie McDonald. Frankie!
The weatherman, Frankie, the weatherman. Who?
Frankie!
Who?
Frankie!
Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie!
How you doing so far, buddy?
I'm doing great so far. And did you hear about this? And it's going to bring a lot of rain and rain to Canada this weekend, like Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, Newfoundland, Quebec, and Ontario, in Eastern United States and America. And those places in Vancouver, British Columbia, is getting a whole rain for the whole next week as well. Then you got extreme cold weather heading for Alberta, Saskatchewan with snow. In the forecast where Brandon Helk is at, it's going to dip the cold air all the way down to Southern California, Arizona, and those places. It's going to turn really stormy in central United States next week. There's a lot of storms coming off the coast of Japan. There's another big storm heading towards New Zealand next week as well. It's spring in the air there. They're bringing lots of hailstorms to southeastern Australia. It's their southern hemisphere spring.
How much snow is coming to the East Coast this weekend, Frankie?
The rain, not snow. Lots of rain in the East Coast.
Rain, sorry. Yeah, I was just talking about snow here. Sorry. How much rain is coming?
Lots of rain in Nova Scotia, PEI, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and all these places. It's going to bring a lot of cold air in Ontario and things like this. It's going to bring a big cold air out west next week in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, British Columbia, Means Vancouver's going to get a lot of rain next week. There'll be one storm right after another in Vancouver, Victoria, and all these places. Typhoons just bypass Japan. Hurricane Tammy's tropical storm Tammy's going to go out to sea. There's another Hurricane Norman's going to head towards west coast of Mexico.
Yeah, we were just looking at that in the pre-show too. It looks like in the next 5 days in the highlands of Cape Breton, you could have up to 100 millimeters of rain up there. Maybe less so in Sydney, maybe more like 60 millimeters of rain. That's on the ECMWF modeling, Frankie. So that's pretty big rain.
That's
80 millimeters maybe through central Nova Scotia, maybe East
Wait a
Prince
minute,
Edward
that's
Island.
it's only on a Saturday morning and early afternoon in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Most of the rain takes place up in the Highlands National Park. In Vancouver, British Columbia's getting a whole lot of rain every day next week. And did you hear about this? Antarctica is getting warmer. According to Matty, one of the guys at research stations in Antarctica, he just made it back to New Zealand.
No, tell us about Maddie.
He left Antarctica earlier in the week.
Yeah, is he one of your fans, or
Yes, I found him on social media.
you should get him on the show sometime. We'd love to talk to someone who's been to Antarctica. That way we can prove it exists.
Does Antarctica have polar bears or penguins?
Penguins.
Penguins.
That's a
Okay,
penguin.
so your friend in Antarctica, did he get to wrestle a penguin? Or at least punch
No.
one or have coffee with
He-
one?
He's doing the research. And guess what? Total solar eclipse is heading right for Sydney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April 8th, 2024.
You didn't let me guess.
Yeah, where's the fun in that?
There was a big solar eclipse this weekend, I guess, Frankie. And people all over the place saw partial eclipse, I guess. Right down, and it went to South America where it was like a total eclipse. This crazy eclipse last weekend. It
was
keeps happening, Frankie.
Epic. It was epic.
It was
He uses that word very sparingly. I just want to highlight that. Now, from the West Coast, from Victoria and Vancouver, we got about 80% coverage. So we had a really good show here. At that time, I was in Florida, and we saw it was about 60% coverage. So talking to people through the time zones, like over Messenger, of just like who's seeing what and having that conversation was really wild.
I'm just setting something up here. What else you got, Frankie? What's going on in the world? Tell us more.
That means they had a big windstorm in York today. In England, had a huge windstorm in Scotland, those places, wind and rain. One of the guy's umbrella got broken in the United Kingdom.
His umbrella got broken. How so?
It was so windy there. It couldn't even keep up with the umbrella because it was so windy. It's too windy for an umbrella in the United Kingdom, bringing high winds and heavy rain up in Scotland.
At what point is the wind too much for an umbrella? How much wind do you have to have? How many winds
lot
per
of wind.
minute? How many winds?
Over 100 kilometers per hour.
I would guess
Breaking
so,
umbrellas
yeah,
in the United
especially.
Kingdom.
Okay, so at 100 kilometers an hour is where it's officially too much for an umbrella.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, drive down the road and try to open an umbrella.
Well,
That could knock out power and things like this up in Scotland. If it winds gusts up to 300 kilometers per hour, that could do a lot of damage.
that will destroy your umbrella. Even if your umbrella is pointed into the wind, if you're leaning against it, you got the umbrella over you, protecting you from it so it's not blowing it up like a funnel. That
500
still-
kilometer per hour winds, that's tornado wind. 500 kilometer per hour winds.
What would happen if there was 2,000 kilometer per hour winds, Frankie?
That can destroy the White House.
What do you got against the White House? Just the White. Wait, hold on. Are other houses reinforced up to that level of wind, but the White House isn't? What do we need to know here, Frankie? What do you know that we don't?
Who has the worst weather in the world, Frankie?
Somewhere on the other side of the world. And then somewhere in overseas, there's a hurricane heading towards Mexico. That's going to do some damage there.
Okay, Frankie, what's going on in outer space besides the
Solar flares are shooting from the sun right now. Solar flares are shooting from the sun as for right now.
The sun's always just throwing stuff around. It's got little cowlicks and tidal waves of fire and lava and molten hell flying off of it. There's always solar flares.
There is active aurora possible with good chance of isolated minor aurora substorms and favorable conditions for major aurora activity tonight. And tomorrow and the night after is moderate. That's a 6 out of 10. So, and some moderate predictions turn out to be pretty good, right? So seems like the geomagnetic field is expected to be at unsettled to minor storm levels and quiet to active levels. the next 2 days. So it looks like maybe where Joe Stover would be up in Churchill, Manitoba, there'd probably be some Northern Lights going on there, possibly right now, Frankie.
That means that it's getting really cold out there. It's going to be much colder up in Churchill, Manitoba next week. Again, it's going to turn way much colder up in Churchill, Manitoba. Joe Stover is that. And Comedeorology's getting a major blizzard on Friday and Saturday and Sunday.
It's funny when we talk about space weather, we somehow start talking about Churchill, Manitoba. It's like Mars up there, I guess.
It's alien infested. That's why.
What about up in Comedeorology where Olivier is that he's getting a lot of snow and high winds on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's going to bring zero visibility, blowing snow, drifting snow where Olivier is at.
That's because he lives in snow country. He lives in an igloo and they need lots of snow to make his igloo stay intact. He rides a walrus to work.
He does not ride a walrus.
I'm
to
just
work.
showing you.
He rides
He
a
does.
walrus to work and then he eats
Rides it from the bar.
I'm showing you Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Okay.
There's no snow there. Why do you not have snow?
It hardly ever snows in Sydney, Nova Scotia. It's like Vancouver there.
That's
It's the East
disappointing.
Coast Vancouver. What are you looking at there? So that's PetSmart and Stop. And looks. Hey, is that A&W? Are you stealing Wi-Fi, Frankie?
No.
Just cheeseburgers.
That's good. 'Cause I hate when you steal a Wi-Fi.
That's free Wi-Fi. That means, look at this. Sydney, Nova Scotia. I'm showing you my hometown.
It's very
That is-
empty.
It is a beautiful town, isn't it?
It's nice not having traffic and construction everywhere. Being able to just like walk around and not have traffic clogging it all up and all the roads choked out with construction. Frankie lives in a very nice area.
It is true. A very wonderful place to steal Wi-Fi.
It's not true. It's only free Wi-Fi.
Now, don't
It doesn't mean
That'll-
you can't steal it. Just because it's free doesn't mean it can't be stolen. Just want to highlight that.
That means, and when it get to, and that means, and Joe, you only total soldier club's heading for Sydney, Nova Scotia, Monday, April 8th, 2024.
I'll be there.
Well, that answers that. It was on
And then
the
maybe-
eclipse.
And then I'll go to the A&W and I'll go stealing their Wi-Fi.
That's right. There's going to be a whole fleet of Frankie fans descending on the city like locusts, stealing up all the Wi-Fi, not leaving it for anyone else who lives there to use. We're just going to go and consume Wi-Fi. That's what we're going to do. We're going to crash on Frankie's couch, set up tents in his yard, watch the eclipse, steal Wi-Fi, and leave.
And then we're at the Holiday Inn, Sydney, Nova Scotia.
I hope they at least give you free coffee, Frankie. You're really directing people that
Holiday Inn,
way.
Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Okay. Did you make any new videos this week, Frankie?
The guy dancing then being chased by more black bears. I just uploaded a video this afternoon.
More black bears? Wow. Shouldn't the guy be chasing the black bears? That's what I say you do. Did you see my videos, Frankie? If you care, scare the bears.
I just did a video earlier this afternoon. The guy dancing then being chased by more black bears. It's on my YouTube channel. Okay, guys, let's do some dancing. Let's show me my moves.
Let's see your moves, Frankie. That's good. Who taught you your moves? Where did you learn your moves, Frankie?
I just did it. My videos for a lot of years.
Just sort of came to you naturally, eh? So Frankie's dancing for you radio listeners right now.
Sounds like the black bears are coming. Oh my God, the black bears are after me.
Oh, God, not the black bears again.
More black bears are after me now.
More of them? How many, Frankie?
There's a pack of black bears. They're after me.
A pack? I didn't even know they ran in packs. But it's happening again.
Even more black bears are after me now.
Even more of them.
There's a whole ton of black bears are after me.
A ton. How many black bears make up a ton, Imogen?
Well, if they're really skinny
There's
bears,
more
then
black
like
bears
90 of
before.
them. But if they're really fat bears, 2. How's that for a range?
There's a lot of black bears. They cannot stop chasing me.
They cannot stop.
Because Frankie's delicious.
It's not possible.
There's so much black bears. They're after me.
They can't stop chasing him at all.
What's really odd about that is Frankie does not look or
The whole
smell
whack
like,
of black bears are after me now.
and he does not look or smell like berries or fish.
A ton of black bears.
A ton.
The black bears finally got away.
I love that the bears got away from
Thanks for
Frankie.
watching him fight out.
Oh, that's so good they got away, Frankie.
They got away. The guy was running so much that the bears became terrified of their intended prey and gave up and ran away.
They got tired, and then they realized that it was the best thing for them was to get away.
Yeah.
So that was a very good video, Frankie. That's by far. I love the guy. I was thinking the other day, like, whatever happened to the guy? But here's the guy. He's back. He's back with like a vengeance. He's back with multiple videos. Frankie's making all kinds of videos about the guy, and the guy, he's dancing, and then it's raining. What is it raining more of, Frankie?
Pizzas. Okay, guys, let's do some dancing. Let's show me my moves.
Right. Have you been dancing with all the girls lately, Frankie?
Quite a few of them. I got something else to say. It's gonna bring.
Do you do these moves at the club when you dance with the girls?
Yeah, I was dancing with them, including the slow dance and things like this. Sounds like thunder and lightning's coming in heavy downpours. Oh my God, the pizza's following the sky.
Oh my God.
More pizzas following the sky.
More of them.
Pizzas will not stop. There's even more pizzas coming from the sky now. There's a whole lot of pizzas falling from the sky right now. More pizzas.
They can't stop falling at all.
More pizzas coming from the sky. There's a lot of pizzas out there falling from the sky.
A lot.
Pizzas will not stop. There's a whole lot of pizzas coming from the sky. So many pizzas falling non-stop. Oh my God, look at the pizzas. Time to stop over there. Shovel all the pizzas.
Shove them into a big fire.
Thanks for watching on Frank Down.
That was great. What happens when so many pizzas fall? What's it like to be a pedestrian getting hammered by pizzas like that, Frankie?
That was my own idea. I'm making videos with my own idea and it went great.
What would happen to a person if it was raining pizzas on them?
They go boom, boom, boom. They'll get the pizzas all over him.
Yeah, would it hurt? Are they scalding hot pizzas or are they like frozen pizzas?
It was just pizzas after, not hot anymore.
Just used pizzas. Frankie made one more video this week. Should we watch it?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Okay. I very much agree with you that we should watch it. And
Like
I
the
think,
vampire.
Hilding, do you think that we should watch this other video of Frankie's?
Of course.
The vampire one.
The vampire one. Okay. Here we go. With the vampire video, Frankie TV.
Guess who's that? I'm doing great success.
Dracula's doing great.
Hey, how hey down, hey success right here. Hey, how success. Are you doing great success? I just gonna let you know. I said, hi, hey, I'm doing great success. I'm doing great success. Hey, how figure out is here. Dracula, figure out. I'm doing great success. I'm doing great success.
Dracula doesn't do great so far.
Yeah, he does.
No.
Dracula's always doing
Hey,
great.
hi,
Cold
figure out is
But
here.
emotional and hateful.
Hey, hi, figure out is here. Hey, doing great success. Calvin success right here. Hey, success, figure out.
I want to point out how impressive it is that Frankie doesn't move his mouth through the vampire stuff. This is a good opportunity for Frankie to do some ventriloquism. hold a little puppet and do the like Dracula's little buddy. So you could have like a little mini vampire, have his little teeth in. Yeah, I think that would be great. Frankie's just wired for ventriloquism.
We've got lots of comments going on, Frankie. Do you want to hear some of the comments right now?
Yeah.
Says one says everyone is invited to a total eclipse party at Frankie's house on April 8th. He'll be giving away free pizza is another comment.
Not true. Somebody started rumors.
Frankie is ordering a ton of Boston pizza
No,
for the
not
party.
true. It's not true. I repeat, not true. Not true.
That's why Frankie is a king.
I love
There
how
will be a
quick
ton of
Frankie-
RVs, including as well.
Not true.
I love how quick Frankie is to address rumors on the spot before the sentence is finished. Frankie's already squashing it. No! Don't listen!
It's not true, everybody.
Well, it ought to be logical. The pizzas won't last from until April. So, the rain of pizzas in October, we have to expect that they're all still April.
We can't really hear a word you're saying, Hilding.
Oh, the cutting out?
Yeah, significantly.
Yeah.
But I think what he was saying was it's raining pizzas at Frankie's. David Butler from Oak Bay, Victoria, Vancouver Island says foggy until 3 p.m. today, clearing to a little bit sunny, a nice temperature around 16 degrees. Nice end of the day there, Victoria. Was that more or less what you experienced yourself, Imogen?
More or less. Fog's been off and on. Depends on what part of the city you're in. We have roving gangs of clouds. It's Care Bear territory. They come in, they fog up the place, and then leave. Blast rainbows all over the once in a while. Where I am, it's not foggy, but across town it was. So yeah, Oak Bay had some fog today. Saanich had some fog. Sort of today it got up to I think like 13 degrees as warm as it got. But again, if you're in a fog pocket, then it's going to be a little bit lower. So that's Victoria. We live in a sponge.
A sponge. When did you get back from Florida?
Day before yesterday. That was an adventure. Going through a whole bunch of airports. I had 3 flights there, 3 flights back. Leaving Victoria, sunny, bright, warm. Get to Vancouver, sunny, warm. Get to Minneapolis, and it's pouring rain. Get to Florida, and it's cloudy and foggy, and then 10 minutes away, it's bright and sunny. Or, well, bright and clear. It was like 10 o'clock at night when I got there. Time travel, man. And then coming back, it was all rainy and foggy and windy and rough landings and turbulence. And I feel like I was in a car accident after one of those landings. But yeah, just came back the day before yesterday.
And you didn't see any Florida men.
Well, I saw lots of men there, but I'm not sure which one was secretly wearing the cape of Florida Man. There were some colorful characters, that's for sure. Mumbly guy looked like he was going to come over and ask, like, panhandle, ask for a cigarette. And, you know, it's a bad neighborhood, so you don't get too close to people. And the only coherent stuff we could really understand is not something I can say on the air. It was right out of the blue, and it sort of circled around a death threat. So I like to think that was a Florida man, but I just didn't get to see the actual activity.
Well, that seemed like a pretty good lead. You should have followed him around for a little while and waited to see when he did some kind of Florida man stuff.
See, that would have been great. Just, you know, get really drunk and duke it out with an alligator or something. That I would have loved to have seen that. Or sober duking it out with an alligator.
So you saved this bird. You found a bird. You're going to go take a picture of it because you like dead things. And it wasn't dead. And you're like, oh, well, I can't just step on it now. So you saved this bird, and your friend said, don't take it back to the hotel. So you took it back to the hotel. So what did you name the bird, and what kind of bird was it?
Well, you've completely butchered that story. So thank you for completely maligning all the details, which is awesome. The bird did not get named. But he was a little rescue. He was injured. He was lying on his back, and if a bird's lying on his back, it's not in a good way. I guess he hit a window. He was stunned pretty bad, had a broken wing. Took him back to the hotel until we heard back from a rescue. And the animal rescue services in Miami Beach are really impressive, actually. 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, and someone actually texted us back and was able to give us very clear, concise instructions on what to do with it. So it was a juvenile purple gallinule, which is like a swamp bird, very brightly colored. Compared to where I am, this is an exotic looking animal. There, it's like a pigeon. It's as common as a pigeon. Yes, we dropped him off at the animal rescue, hung out with him for a little bit and made sure he's comfortable and okay, and dropped him off. And I'm actually just waiting for an update on how he's doing, because they keep you updated. How cool is that? So yeah, that was my little bird friend.
Oh, that's great news. Yeah, I got to go to Florida and save a bird. And you got to meet a lizard, I saw, and did you meet any alligators?
I did. I saw a few alligators. The wildlife there, like the city wildlife, like here we have rats running around the place. The first night there, going to the hotel, I see a possum run across the road. I thought it was a huge rat. So in shock, I'm going like, holy man, is that a rat? Like, look at that. And everyone in the car is laughing. They're like, no, dude, that's a possum. Like, we have possums like you have rats. Cool. Okay. Parrots fly around, like seagulls. They're just parrots. That's so cool. Yeah, but I actually took a airboat tour of the Everglades, went on this adventure. It was actually super cool because it was during the solar eclipse. I was on an airboat cruising through the Everglades looking at alligators. So I get to the place. They have this big sign, this big warning sign about alligators right outside the office of this airboat tour place.
And it says, if the alligators block out the sun, cover your eyes.
Do not look directly into the gator's face.
During the alligator eclipse.
Yeah, so right outside the office, there's a 13-foot alligator who just lives there. He just hangs out. And so I'm watching this alligator swim around, and then another one comes out that's like 9 feet. And they're just swimming around, waiting for people to just fall in the water or throw a poodle in or whatever. Like they're just so chill. Like, it's very misleading to see a really calm animal that gets right up close and is acting so non-threatening, but without warning, they'll eat your face off.
Yeah, it's your friend. That's what he is.
Yeah.
I'm just getting closer because I'm your friend.
They want you to throw a marshmallow. Alligators love marshmallows, which was cool. And so on this airboat tour, we're going through the Everglades. The water is crystal clear. It's only a few feet deep. You can see right through. There's tropical fish all through there, and we're cruising along, and there's like little alligators who live in the pathways, and they're like right up at the boat, and we're used to petable animals. A dog comes up to you, you pet it. Cats come up to you, you pet them. An alligator comes up to you, you don't pet them. It's hard to bite that instinct back and not pet an animal when it approaches you. But if you do that with an alligator, it will suck out loud and your life will not be better for it.
Yeah, I can imagine. We had these snapping turtles back home where I grew up, really big snapping turtles. And they would come on the road and they would start to try to dig holes on the side of the road, right? I grew up on a gravel road. And they would dig holes so they could put their eggs in it. But then the hillbillies would see them and they'd purposely drive over top of the snapping turtles. And I didn't like that because
yeah,
I love life.
It's a
next Friday. A week from today is 300th day of the year.
300 days.
Yes.
You know what I would do, Frankie? I would pick those snapping turtles up because they would get really docile when they get to the laying stage, and I would move them off the road and save her life, right? But then sometimes, every once in a while, I'd find out that they weren't. I'd test them to see if they're docile, but then they weren't docile.
A week from right now is 299th day of the year. A week from this Friday is 300th day of the year. It's the 27th.
Where did the time go, Frankie?
It flew by.
It did, didn't it? It's already it's already going to be November. Halloween's coming up next week, isn't it? I'm going to have my kids for Halloween.
Not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday.
and we're gonna watch horror movies and all kinds of stuff that adults shouldn't show their kids. I can't wait. I'm a great dad. That's what I do. What are you gonna be for Halloween this year, Frankie?
I just do a vampire video of myself, Vampire Frank Down. I just do a video of myself as a vampire.
But if you go out at Halloween, what are you gonna be? Like if you're walking around Sydney, Nova Scotia?
Just myself, I dress up as a vampire for YouTube videos.
So you don't wear Halloween costumes at all whatsoever.
Frankie's a vampire. Now, what most people don't know is that Frankie really is a vampire, and this is the one time a year that he drops the costume and can go out as his true self, as his natural being of a vampire.
Frankie, do you got any questions for Imogen? It's been 2 weeks.
Imogen, how is the weather in Victoria, British Columbia for the whole next week?
Great. It's great so far. We may creep up to 15 degrees, scattered clouds, scattered showers. It's that time of year.
Then we got lots of rain headed for Victoria, British Columbia sometime middle of next week. That's going to drive the cold air all the way down to Southern California.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Where Trevor Garner is at.
it's going to be very cold all across the United States, Frankie. And Imogen, got any more questions for Imogen, Frankie?
Is Trey Campbell getting really cold weather sometime middle to late next week?
Yes, he is. That's a better question.
What about how's Roger Gardner, aka Roger the Wild Child Show, doing these days?
I don't know. I haven't talked to Roger in a while. I hope he's doing good. You see him all the time, man.
He's doing great so far. He's still doing his podcast. There's Neff left, Deborah Drake's left, and all those moonshine shenanigans left.
Oh, is Icavelli still with them? I love that guy.
Moonshine shenanigans used to be a recurring guest on Roger the Wild Child Show in early 2022. Moonshine shenanigans left.
Okay, was that Ike's character, or I thought he was just
Moonshine shenanigans? That's one of the people who was on the Roger the Wild Child Show. They live in Florida.
Oh, okay, awesome.
And did you hear this? And I'll be on Kins and Clump podcast on October 25th.
Oh, that's great.
This Wednesday coming.
Good. Maybe we can all be on. I love that show. Those guys are great. Frankie, which stations are we on? Can you give us some station IDs?
Say hi, Joey Oli. Hi, Joey. I'm Frankie Down. You're listening to me, Roger Weather Report, every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Joey only runs a podcast called Caribou Weather to Comedian plus Meteorology on his YouTube channel, Caribou Weather to Joey only Comedian plus Meteorology. He used to work for Vancouver Giants Western Hockey League team. Joey only's a really, really, really nice guy. And I'm on this podcast every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic, alongside with Imogen Cookie Bailey and Brandon Helk, the weather specialist of Alberta. And it's on CFUR 88.7 FM Prince George, and CKUW 95.9 FM in Winnipeg, and CFBX 92.5 FM in Kamloops. It's on Shaw Spotlight TV, and it's a traditional television. Joey Only's a really nice guy. I'm on his podcast every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. And everyone see me on Joey Only Show. Then best luck to Joey Only lives in Wales, British Columbia. He fights fires. He's a firefighter in the summer months. He fights fires in Wales, British Columbia. Best luck to you. I'm Frank Dart. You're listening to Joey Only Show every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Say hi, Joey Only. I'm Frank Down. And it's on CFUR 88.7 FM Prince George, CKUW 95.9 FM Winnipeg, and CFBX 92.5 FM in Kamloops. It's on Shaw Spotlight TV.
Shaw Spotlight for Vancouver Island.
Shaw Spotlight for Vancouver Island.
That's the one.
Forgive me, I'm just putting wood in my wood stove. This is the only YouTube channel you probably watch where the guy's got to put wood in his stove just to make his house tolerable enough to record in.
What Joey's showing us now is the outtake for the Christmas log video. This is the behind the scenes for the log.
The log.
Yep.
So if you're a fire, this is what you see.
Yep. 100%. It's the B cam footage of the log, the making of video.
We haven't talked to Hilding Donaldson much yet. Hilding, what kind of preparations are going on out in Grassy Plains, British Columbia for winter?
We're going to check all our cows tomorrow. The vet is coming, and the vet is actually using an ultrasound machine on the side of every cow to check if they're pregnant. So, because we don't want to feed a cow over winter if it isn't going to give us a calf.
Right, you're gonna feed yourselves with the cow.
Right. Well, butcher them or sell them to the neighbors, whatever. There's actually a pretty good market around right now for neighbors buying some of our extra beef, so we don't actually have to sell it for a cheap price in the auction. We can butcher it and sell a meat.
Well, like, what would a quarter go for?
I'm not even positive right now. I'm saying probably a quarter of a large cow, just that was mostly good hamburger meat, is probably around $300 hanging. And then they'd have to pay to get it cut yet.
Yeah, okay. I need beef,
Oh yeah.
but that's conversation for another time.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that Hilding Donaldson does. Is he makes beef.
Mm-hmm.
Makes beef happen.
Yeah.
So how many cows are expected to be pregnant? Like, you're checking to see if they're pregnant. How many are you expecting or hoping for?
Well, we have over 100 cows. We're hoping that we have at least 100 that are pregnant.
I just confirm about today's Space Guy Show's birthday. He's 49 years old today.
That's 49 years old. He looks so young.
Well, happy birthday, base guy.
Happy birthday, base guy.
And next year, Base Guy will be 50 years old on October 19, 2024.
Next year, base guy will be 50 years old.
Well, okay, if his 49th birthday is today of this year, then I would think that his next year birthday would be in like June then. Is that how it works?
October 19th next year. Same with leap years.
Turns 50 on January 1st.
He turned 50 on October 19th of next year.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
I'm just impressed that Hilding got that many of them pregnant.
Well, that's not my job. We have bulls to do that.
Thank you for
It's my job to
clarifying.
herd the bull out there to make sure that he gets there, though.
With the checking if they're all pregnant, I mean, sounds like a wonderful
Is cow Viagra a thing?
repeat 100 times. What do you
Yeah.
get? We got like 100 like pregnancy tests.
Yeah, it's doing 100 pregnancy tests in about 3 hours time.
And you so you like wait till they pee and you jump in there, and then you inform them. Like, I hate to tell you.
No, you chase them down into a funnel, so they can't turn around and go away from you. They have to go down the chute, and when they get in there, they go into a cage. We call it a squeeze, and you hold them so they stay still by pushing iron bars against the sides of them a little bit.
Well, that sounds
And then you
horrifying.
take a camera and you hold it against their side, and it takes an ultrasonic picture of their intestines and their uterus.
Really?
Yeah.
You're using an X-ray of sorts.
Yeah. Well, it's an ultrasonic machine. It's exactly the same as what doctors use now for taking ultrasonic pictures of babies. Only it's
Well,
bigger.
That's a lot less graphic than what I thought you were about to say.
Yeah, I thought that was going in a real ugly
They
direction.
used to do it differently. They used to have to reach inside the cow, but they don't have to do that anymore.
Well, that's good.
That's how it was in when I grew up on the farm.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've
Not
helped with
anymore,
that a
not
lot of
anymore.
times.
Now you can just get a robot to check it out.
Yeah.
Anyone else got any more cattle questions for Hilding? These are some great answers. Frankie, you ever been around cows much?
That means that no, I was far away from cattle.
Dallas, but
Oh yeah, I also found out. I saw an interview with. Remember the guy who had his. It was an alligator, but it was meant to. It was one of those pets that's supposed to, you know, be your friend to like help you emotionally. An emotional support alligator. Remember the emotional support alligator?
I remember hearing about that somewhere along the way. I remember hearing about that. They're
You
pretty
try to
cool
take-
animals.
He tried to take it into a Philadelphia Phillies game, and they said, you can't bring an alligator into a baseball game. And then it was like all over the news because, it's his emotional support alligator. Of course, it's his emotional support. So I saw an interview with the emotional support alligator guy. And the most interesting thing I took out of it was that in the end, they asked him about, if they could come and see the alligator at his house. He said, well, I'm staying at a friend's right now. And I realized the guy who's caring for an alligator, an emotional support alligator, is homeless.
Neat.
Yeah. So it's like, when people say like, hey, I'm having a hard time getting an apartment because I have a dog.
Well, yeah, I guess that the pet deposit on that one would be a little bit more extensive than normal with a dog.
Apparently there's a new world's hottest chili pepper. So it's been dethroned. The Carolina Reaper was the world's hottest chili, right? It's now been dethroned by its own creator. So the Carolina Reaper, it was absolutely ridiculously hot. It was registering at 1.64 million Scoville heat units. The thing is spicier than the pepper spray cops use. It's pain in pepper form. But his new creation, the ominously titled Pepper X, it's even worse. It's 2.69 million Scoville units. That should be classified as a weapon.
Well, considering
You
that
eat it and you turn into a skull and crossbones?
Well, considering that something as weak as what's used in pepper spray is used as a weapon, then yes, anything stronger could easily be weaponized.
That's crazy. So that's butt scorching pain of this guy. He's a guy he grows peppers that are intended to kill you. I guess he must think that's cool.
Late next week, Gary and Dino show's heading for Salton Sea.
Where's the Salton Sea?
In somewhere in California. Gary and Dino show's going there late next week.
I like those guys, Gary and Dino's show.
Is it like not only is Gary and Dino's show tougher than us, but they're also funnier and more popular.
It's so tough without Brandon here tonight. Just got to say, I really miss Brandon Howe, but we do have a video recording of Brandon, which I could throw in right now.
The Brandon Houck Report.
Oh, hi. This is the Brandon Houck Report. Absolute stunner day today in southern Alberta. Temperatures pushing mid to upper 20s. Nothing but sun. So get out there and enjoy it because things are going to dramatically change for the worse, especially as we go into next week. So let's break it all down. First off, we've got a cold front coming through tonight. We could see a few showers moving off the foothills, the west central portions of the foothills, just west of Edmonton. And there might even be a few lightning strikes today and some gusty winds with that activity as it sweeps its way into Saskatchewan. So that's the first cold front. So we'll be back down to the teens for tomorrow, still above average for Friday and Saturday. Then as we go on into next week, Sunday into Monday, we've got the Arctic front diving down from the north. We're going to see some snow move into northern portions of Alberta Sunday into Monday especially, and we're going to see some of that precipitation work its way down into the southern part of the province as the temperatures begin to plummet. The temperatures will plummet to daytime highs of only below freezing. Yeah, and overnight lows in the minus teens, and a few locations could get minus 20 by next week. Wind chill's going to be in a factor, and the other story is going to be Tuesday and Wednesday. It's lots of uncertainty with this low pressure system developing Wednesday into, or Tuesday and Wednesday there, where we could be dealing with a pretty hefty amount of snow, accumulating snow for southern Alberta, middle part of next week. So it is going to be something to watch, and we'll be monitoring it very closely in the days to come. We know we're going to get snow. How much is still uncertain at this time, but it is looking quite confident for quite a snow event for the middle part of next week. And that will be the first snow event of the season, and a very cold air mass to follow suit. So stay tuned for updates. And for the Comedeorological Report, I'm Brandon Houck.
That was a cool video from Brandon. Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah, remember that guy Brandon we used to have around here?
He does a lot of stuff. He is an active guy. That's his jam. He Brandons it up, and he Brandons around.
Potentially Guinness Book of World Records holder Dorothy Hoffner, who's was a 104-year-old woman who dove from a plane in Chicago. The oldest person who skydived. She died a little more than a week after she potentially broke the world record for the oldest skydive. So our condolences to the family of Dorothy Hoffner. She's taken that final plunge. Speaking of dead bodies, nearly 200 bodies were recovered from a Colorado funeral home. It's accused of improper storage. What the police found inside was horrific, apparently. I guess so. I mean, 189 dead and decaying bodies. This was it was recovered. The funeral home was called Return to Nature Funeral Home in Colorado. 75 more deceased than the police originally thought that was on site when they began looking at the facility earlier this month. So that's horrific. I don't know what they would. The practice in this is legal in the state of Colorado, but the law requires bodies that are not embalmed to be refrigerated within 24 hours. Why would you have 185 bodies? Yeah, Wally the support alligator. That's who I was talking about. I just seen an article for him right now. So Wally the support alligator they're homeless. He's staying at his friend's house.
So to answer a question here, Kevin asked if I got to bring an alligator home. I would have loved to have smuggled an alligator home, but obviously that's not a thing. However, alligator heads are souvenirs that you can get in Florida. So I got some cool little alligator heads, and I got some cigars, and so I've got lots of photos of the alligators smoking cigars. And to answer the question that a lot of people have, or to respond to the comment that a lot of people have sent, no, they're not Cubans. Not all cigars are Cubans. Cubans are illegal in the US, not in Canada. We can buy them here like anything else, but not in the US. So no, they're not Cubans. But I did bring some alligator heads home. I went through customs with a bag of alligator heads. That was kind of cool. So when they asked, do you have anything to declare? I said, does a bag of severed heads count? And I did not get thrown into a little private room, and I did not have to go through additional checks. Definitely something I've always wanted to be able to say. And that dream came true.
Speaking of severed, prosecutors say a reckless driving suspect bit a New York Police Department officer's fingertip off. Sweet. And I say in response to that, he's a reckless driving suspect, but they don't seem to care about the fingertip.
Mm-hmm. So to address a couple other questions, what's that?
No plants, animals, meats, poultry is allowed across the international borders between U.S. and Canada. Down in the United States, they got their own poultry, they got their own beef, they got their own meat, they got their own pepperoni down there.
I had no problem bringing snacks across the border. Just saying, I've had a lot of experts telling me what's allowed and what isn't, and I just went through customs like twice in the last couple of months, going across the border and then coming home.
In Canada, they got their own pepperoni, they got their own meat, poultry, things like this, and beef and pork and things like this. United States got their own.
Yes, we do produce a lot of our own, but we also import and export a lot of stuff as well. We do have some pretty solid trade agreements with the United States, and so
Japan gets the fries from Canada.
That's a lot more international than the US as far as neighbors go.
Mhm.
So Kevin also asked if it rained when I was there. So specific to the weather, it was very tropical, waking up at 7 in the morning to 20-degree weather. It was really wild. And then it gets up to like 30, 33 during the day. But it also has 100% humidity. So there would be like this flash downpour that lasts for an hour to 2 hours of just heavy, heavy rain. Everything's flooded and then it's gone, it's dry, and it's back to bright, sunny, muggy, and tropical. No, I was not there just for the gators. I would like to be able to say that was it, but that was not the case. I was actually working. I was down there for a photo shoot. So that's what I was doing. And I also see how is Sabian. Sabian actually passed away just recently, so there's not going to be any more updates on him. He was ready to go. He was comfortable, and it was his time. Sabian had his goodbyes, and he was ready. So it was as ideal as it could be in that he went to sleep and just didn't wake up. He was comfortable and surrounded by family. So that's how Sabian's doing.
A Missouri high school teacher is put on leave after school officials discovered her page on a porn site. No one has much to say about the official who was looking at porn sites, but her name is Brianna Coppage. If you want to support her, she lost her job.
And I don't have jobs like that, like a teacher or things like this. I do my YouTube videos, I do, and weather reports, dancing videos, and my comedy videos.
Your videos are awesome, and I think that people should be watching your videos at work instead of what good old Brianna or whatever her name was watching.
So no teaching and no pornography.
That
Frankie.
means I'm not a teacher at all. I repeat, I am not a teacher at all.
Frankie is preemptively addressing rumors.
Are you
I
a
don't
porn
work
star,
with any
Frankie?
children. I do not work with any children at all.
Okay, fair enough.
Did you do any research on witches?
On witches, no. Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about.
Well, the idea of witches riding brooms. We have a tendency to make it into children's comedy. The actual fact is that witches back in the Middle Ages were people who were thought to be in league with the devil because the church was trying to control everything. Actually, they were scientists. They were studying plant matter and alkaloids and compounds that they could make from plants. And they found out that certain plants like Jimson weed, nightshade, mandrakes, henbane all had hallucinogen effects, which they know today as hyoscine. Yeah, they're containers of hyoscine. Hyoscine makes you have severe stomach cramps if you take it by mouth. So they were experimenting by rubbing hyoscine onto places where your lymph nodes are close to your skin, like under your armpits or between your legs. And in order to do that, they would smear hyoscine compound on a stick and rub it between their legs. When they hallucinated, then they had the severe feeling of an out-of-body experience of flying.
Okay.
So that's where the story of witches riding on broomsticks comes to be.
Okay.
They would rub a stick with a drug and rub it between their legs to try to get high and hallucinate and think they were flying.
Okay. That's one theory. Interesting.
Well,
Okay.
it's actually a proven fact. I mean, it's proven in history that they did do that. That isn't necessarily the only source of witches flying in history, but that is one of the explanations as to where it may have come from.
In other news, Travis Ganger of Anoka, Minnesota, he won the 50th World Championship. Pumpkin Way Off. It's in Half Moon Bay, California. This pumpkin he grew could possibly make 687 pies. It's 2,749 pounds is how big this pumpkin is. Okay. The previous world record was 2,702 pounds. It was a squash in 2021, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. So there's a new world's heaviest pumpkin, a 2,749 pound pumpkin. Wow.
That would
Joey,
take a one-ton truck to haul it.
That's a great big pumpkin. That's excellent. Anyone got anything? Got any last things to say? We're getting to the end of
if you want to follow,
the show.
if you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter is at Frankie MacD. My Blue Sky is at Frankie MacD. My Facebook is Frankie MacDown. My Instagram is Frankie MacD984. My TikTok is FrankDown984. My Twitch is FrankDown984. My Snapchat is Frankie AmyCDO, and my Clapper is Frankie MacDown984. And my Snapchat is Frankie AmyCDO, and my LinkedIn is Frankie MacDonald. And my YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves. Best of luck to you. I'm Frankie MacDonald. You were listening to Comedeorology Weather Report with Joey only every Thursday nights.
Thank you, everybody, for coming on by who's been watching us on the YouTube, the live stream. Thanks for everyone at the radio stations for playing us and at the Shaw Spotlight for playing us. We very much appreciate your support very much and support all the people who subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for being part of my life. Very much appreciated. Frankie, my videos really took off this week. I had so far this month, I've had 48,000 views and more on my YouTube channel. So
that's three in total. My videos. Next Friday, the 27th, is 300th day of 2023.
300th day of 2023 coming up. Frankie, what kind of videos are you going to make this week, you think?
I'm working on it. Did you hear about this? I will. 26th is 299th day of 2023. 27th of October is 300th day of 2023.
Next week, Friday, when you're out and about and you're like looking for reasons to celebrate, be like, oh, yes, it's the 300th day of the year. Yeah. And just let her fly. It's Friday night, the 300th.
It's a good way to celebrate a Friday. Just by screaming woohoo, it's the 300th day.
Yeah, you thought Friday the 13th was bad. Wait for Friday the 300th.
Hey, man, did you hear about this? On Sunday, December 31st, that's the final day of 2023.
I didn't hear that. Are you sure?
Sunday, December 31st, 2023. That's the last day of 2023.
It probably is, isn't it? I can't believe this year went by so fast. It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, pretty much that's the show for this week, everybody. We got to get going because Frankie's going to get caught stealing Wi-Fi out there if we stay much longer.
Not true. It's not true. It's only free Wi-Fi.
If they come out to yell at you about it, just throw a burger at them and run real fast. That's all you got to do. Whip them with a burger and run. Run.
It says the Comedy Meteorology Report, your meteorological report, your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada and beyond. I'm your host, Joey Only, here in Wells, British Columbia. Thanks very much for being with us this week again, everybody. And we'll see you next week, and we'll by then have lots of cold weather that have already hit and snow stories to talk about. Hopefully, Brandon Houck will be back to help us wrap it all up like he does so well. Nice seeing you, Frankie. We'll see you. Thanks. Always good to see you, buddy. And Imogen, you too. And Hilding. It's good to see you. It's good to see you people.
If you're done, you're done.
Okay. Stop recording then. I'm going to stop recording right now.
Roll credits.
Roll the credit.
Say hi, Joey Only.
Hi, Joey Only.
I'm Frank MacDonald. You're listening to Meteorological Weather Report every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Joey Only runs a podcast called Caribou Weather to Comedian plus Meteorology on YouTube. It's on every Thursday night. And Joey Only's a really nice guy. He fights fires in Wells, British Columbia. He's a firefighter in Wells, British Columbia. I'm on this podcast every Thursday night. Caribou Weather to Comedian plus Meteorology. It's on CFUR 88.7 FM and CFBX 92.5 FM is CF.
Were you getting a picture?
CFUR 88.7 FM, Prince George, CFBX 9, CKUW 9, 5.9 FM in Winnipeg, and CFBX 9, 2.5 FM McCann, Loops. It's on Shaw Spotlight TV. I'm on his Joey Only show every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Joey Only 30 nights. I use work for Vancouver Giants Western Hockey League team. I'm on his podcast every Thursday night. Hi, Joey Only. Best luck to you. I'm Frank Dow. You're listening to Joey Only show every Thursday night. at 10 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. And say hi, Joey only.
Hi, Joey. Oh.